It's Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. And we're bringing it all to you right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. I'm Don Jacobs in the Pennsylvania Outdoor Life cabin, still using the fireplace for warmth. The weather's been really screwy, right? We've had really cold days, and now we're looking at a run that nothing is going to go below freezing. We're turning our attention to spring activities, and that is indeed trout fishing. Trout fishing for trophies like that. One of the hatcheries that services our area is Tylersville in Clinton County. We went out there to learn more about what they do and how they stock the trucks. You're going to hear from Justin Signorella.
It's a year-round facility. We only do trout here. We have 50 ponds of trout, 5 raceways of 10 ponds each. So,
Now, do you raise them from eggs?
Yep, we raise them from eggs. Everyone except for rainbow trout. All rainbow trout have to be brought in.
So where are we now, Justin? This is pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're actually in the Tylersville hatch house right now. We're looking at our lighthouse brown trout. These will be stocked next year.
They'll grow that fast.
Well, these are the lighthouse ones, so they are actually hatched in June opposed to our fall spawn, which will be hatched in December.
Okay, and all the other fish are in here too?
Yep, well right now we have just the browns and we have brook trout in the hatch house. All of our rainbows are actually been moved outside.
Sent out, wow. Now, how often do they get fed?
These ones get fed a little bit more often. We're looking to feed them less time. We're looking to feed them less feed more times a day, just because we don't want the tanks to get dirty, as they're a little bit smaller than the raceways.
They'll clean up better then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we'll have someone in here probably 4, 5, 6 times a day, just giving them a little bit of feed. The brown, so it's going to take them a little bit to get to the feed. A lot of them are going to eat underneath the surface too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, if these were rainbows or brook trout, they'd be boiling at the surface.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what kind of trout do you raise here?
We raise brook trout, brown trout, rainbow trout, and golden rainbows.
So, and each truck gets some trophies put on it too, right?
Yep, each truck will get a selection of trophies, and pre-season every truck will get some goldens as well. Some in-season goldens go out, but not many.
So tell me physically, how do you load the truck? What's going to happen here this morning?
Well, we get sample weights at the end of each day before we go home, and that will give us the weight that we need for each truck. The fish culturists will go into the ponds, and they have a weight that they put in each tank. And they'll manually lift the nets up to weigh them, and then they'll put them on a fish elevator, which is basically a modified grain elevator, and it will go right into the tanks.
And we're going to put some trophies on today too?
Yep, before they do the production fish, as we call them, they're going to go over there and load the trophy fish by hand with nets. So they have a number on those, not an actual weight, just because they're a little bit bigger and their weights differ a little bit more. We know the number we need, and then I just divide it by the weight we have available in each tank.
So these are trophy browns right here.
Those are browns there.
Oh, there's some nice sized fish in there. Look at that, that's a beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. So these are golden rainbows, they're not palominos, right?
Nope,
Everybody calls them palominos. They're golden rainbow trout, right?
Yep, golden rainbow trout.
And they're raised specifically to be a trophy, right?
Yep.
And they are. Look at the size of those fish. Does it take more for different species? Like, are some harder to raise, some easier to raise?
I wouldn't say harder or easier. Brook trout and brown trout, they slow down in the winter a lot more than the rainbows will, just because of the water temperature.
Okay.
So they're a little bit slower growing, but I wouldn't say they're harder to raise.
Look at that. Look at the size of that fish. Oh, that's just pretty. Now on to the big rainbows, right?
Yeah, the big rainbows.
Look at the girth on some of those fish. That's beautiful. Look at the color in them. They're just beautiful fish.
Yeah, they're nice fish.
What is the biggest average in there? Like what size are we looking at?
We're looking at 19 to 22 inches in there.
And that's got to weigh a couple pounds, right?
They're about 0.23 fish per pound, so they're pretty big.
That is a trophy. I know people will end up putting them on the wall if they catch them,
yeah.
if they can afford to. But that's a nice sized fish. So now they're going to go over and load all the rest of the fish?
He's going to go around the hatchery and go down the elevators.
All right, let's go. Before the trucks can be loaded, the trout have to be moved into position and corralled. That's one mess of a lot of fish right there. They pushed them down and they're going to end up pulling that board right up. You're going to pull it up now? And there they go. Oh, that is just hysterical. That is just hysterical. So they've already corralled a bunch of fish to get closer to that ladder?
Yep, we've already pushed them down.
And what kind is he loading there?
Those are browns over there. So this load calls for about only 30% browns compared to 70% rainbow. So it's only about 20 per tank compared to about 200 per tank over here.
Gotcha.
The weights are also a little different too.
Got you. You know, I've seen this dozens and dozens of times. I just find it hysterical that they can put on a conveyor belt and go up the ladder. So how many trout will come out of this facility for anglers in Pennsylvania?
Well, for the stocking season, it's going to be right over 400,000 trout. For all trout, including the hook road takes and the ones we give to the co-op anglers, it's about another 100,000 trout.
Wow, that's a lot of fish.
Yes, it is.
So overall in the state, can you give me some numbers? How many are all the hatcheries going to be stocking and stuff like that?
Well, the Center County hatcheries, we all do about 300 to 400,000 fish. Northern hatcheries, Oswego and Corey, do about 200,000 each. And then Reynoldsdale down in the south there, they do, I believe, about 200,000, and Huntsdale does about 400 to 500,000.
So are you going to have the fish in there for the mentored youth season and the openers?
Yeah, a bunch of waters. Not every water, unfortunately, because we do have to do some that last week just because of trout residency issues. But a bunch of waters will be done, at least every one, and at least every county should have at least one water.
So tell me, why the netting?
That's to keep the bird predation away. We have some herons, some osprey come in, and that's just really to keep the birds out, also mink and other critters like that.
So when we look at the state of Pennsylvania, we take up the northeast counties, 19 of them. You supply fish for those, don't you?
Yes, us and also Benner Springs supply fish.
Now that particular hatchery is not open to visitors, but some of them are. And if you want to learn more about that and the stockings and everything, you can go to the Fish and Boat Commission's homepage. Very easy to follow. Next week, we'll take you stocking in a couple of the local lakes. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.